Hey everybody, today I'm going to be doing a little review on the Livetarget swim bait, and partially because I've seen so many questions asked about it. It's a very great bait for multiple situations. I've caught anything from bass, snook, groupers, all that on Livetarget. I'm going to start off by just showing you the basic design. I'm sure you guys have seen it. Livetarget makes some really realistic looking stuff. But basically, what's special to me about this bait is that, okay, since it's soft plastic, it really makes it more lifelike, and it's just got that texture to it that a hard bait just can't stand up to. This is the sardine. This guy's cool looking. I mean, he looks exactly like a little greenback or white bait or whatever you want to call it, pilchard. And not only that, but it's a smaller bait. This bait, I believe, is 3 inches, and so it's a bite-sized bait. It's got great look to it, great color. What I've noticed about these swim baits right here is that the tail, you can see it's wide in the back. You know, it does make it pretty streamlined. It's a little wider. It's about the same width as the bait itself. But what it does is it's got the little ridges to it, so it's clear. So it look in the water, it looks like it's only that little tiny tail. Now, the ridge on the sardine is a lot less wide than the ridge on the pinfish, for example. And what it ends up doing is making the bait swim completely different. So they vary from bait to bait. Now, this is the pinfish. Look how much wider that is, even in comparison. Pinfish has a completely different shaped tail. And the reason for that is that when the pinfish moves through the water, it swims like a pinfish. It's got a different tail movement. Sardine and the herring, their tail movements are very tiny. When you actually look at a sardine in the water, it looks like it's just going like a torpedo through the water. It doesn't, you don't see too much of a tail movement. Sometimes you do, but it's a very short but quick movement. That's exactly what this bait does right here. It's a very short but quick movement. The pinfish, you can see a little bit more tail movement. Still pretty quick, but it's got more of a tail wiggle. That water, there's more drag on it, which creates more movement. There's less drag on this, it creates a lot less movement or very tight movement. So it swims just like the baitfish it's trying to mimic. This is the smaller of the two pinfish. I believe this is a 3.5, and then there's a 4 or 4.5. There's one that's a little bigger than this. I can't remember the exact dimension. Then there's this light blue, and then there's a darker color. Pinfish, I've hooked up into monster grouper on the docks with this, and just I'm assuming they're grouper. I couldn't stop it. Take and drag on my Calcutta, done, gone. So you can tell they're about the same size. The pinfish is a little bigger. They're great baits. They're soft. They got some weight down here, along with an O-ring that you can put a treble on, which increases the hookup ratio dramatically. The issue with the treble is that if you put it on there, you also increase snagging everything. So if you're fishing a lot of structure or you're fishing a lot of seagrass, you don't really want to throw the treble. But if you're throwing more sandy, open water, treble is a very good option for you. If you're throwing dock lights, it's a very good option to put the treble on there because you're bringing it through. You're not really messing around with the actual structure. I would put a treble on that circumstance. But with the pinfish, for example, if you want it, this guy has a little bit more weight to it. He'll sink down. He'll swim more toward the bottom if you slowly reel it in. If you let it sink toward the bottom and bring it along the side of a dock, just as slow as you can, don't put a treble on it. Just leave it like this, and you lose the you lose the hookup ratio, but you gain a more weedless approach, so you can drag it above, over rocks and grass and stuff like that. Just bounce it off, just like you would a jig or a spool tech or something like that. Same basic principle. The other one I have here. This is I believe this is the threadfin. Yeah, this is the threadfin. Same basic profile as the other sardine. It's got a little bit of a bigger body. It's a bigger bait, so it's a you know, you can see same basic profile, bigger bait. Same basic thing. Great bait. I've used this one too. I've caught bass on this one, and along with the herring. Caught bass on the mullet one too. Didn't have any mullet to show you guys. They sell out pretty quickly. But anyway, the only real complaint I have about this bait, it's not even a complaint, it's just something I've noticed, is that, you know, it falls apart pretty easily. You know, after a few fish, the eyes disappear. You know, it happens. You know, it's a soft plastic swim bait. You know, it cuts pretty easily. It's actually pretty sturdy. I mean, if you get a puffer fish eating this, that's it, you're done. But overall, it's not a bad bait. Like, I've caught plenty of fish on, you know, the herring until it got beat up enough where the paint was all gone, and it had a bunch of deep gashes in it, but it still swam nice. It just looked really bad, you know, and that's just what happens when you catch a bunch of fish on a bait, especially because it's soft plastic. Overall, for the price, I say it's worth it, especially if you like throwing swim baits. It's a very easy to use bait. If you reel it up quick and keep your rod tip up, it acts as a wake bait. This tail will shake the water pretty well, and I've noticed that for all of them. So reel rod tip up if you want it, just, you know, if you're fishing shallow water, and it'll just sit right below the surface and create a big wake, which is really nice. I've caught a few snook doing that. Well, that is my review on the Livetarget swim bait series, the soft plastics. As I said, it's a great bait overall. I would definitely buy it. I have bought it. It produces, it looks great, feels great. It's an overall great bait. So definitely worth picking up. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Let me know in the comment section what other videos you'd like me to do, if you'd like me to do some other reviews. If not, thanks for watching my videos, and thank you for subscribing and liking and all that good stuff. Anyways, y'all have a good day.